酷酷迷的上 Amigos， 各位观众，现在达特伊所在的位置在士林麦当劳的正前方。This is the first McDonald's restaurant in this area. It has been here for at least 25 years. Since I was in I guess middle school or elementary school, it has been a while, I cannot remember. This neighborhood changes a lot, but this McDonald's does change, but it doesn't change a lot. Now it opens 24/7. You can buy the food anytime during the day and night. This is the location I'm going to start my exploration today because everybody knows this McDonald's. If you want to go to Yangming Mountain, if you want to go to Old Palace Museum, the road in front of me is the only road to these places from the MRT Silin Station. So you will recognize this McDonald's. But you know, the funny thing is, even though this is almost the first, well, I shouldn't say the first. Yeah, I should put it this way. This McDonald's is an American fast food restaurant lasting the most in this area, but it's not the first one. Guess what is the first one? Or what was the first one? About 20 feet away from McDonald's. So in front of me here. Okay, so now it's a newly built luxury residence in Taiwan. I don't think I can afford it, but it used to be a 4-floor old buildings for this lot. There were two businesses before this new luxury home. 第一个是科建英语. It's a English school for kids. The other one is Texas Fried Chicken, 德州炸鸡, and then they changed the name to 小骑士. I think it's originally from United States, but I never actually see any Texas Fried Chicken in United States ever. Maybe they just closed their business at all worldwide. Do you know, that's the first fast food restaurant in this area, or maybe in Taipei, I'm not sure, but it can be the first 5 American fast food restaurants in Taipei. Their fried chicken was tasted real good and even better than McDonald's. But you know, they didn't win the competition against McDonald's and KFC in the Taiwan history, so they just disappeared. Yeah, I kind of miss that. Yeah, I can still remember it's a very spacious restaurant. When you walk in, they have a counter and you can smell the butter corn. They have buttered corn. It's not like McDonald's. I don't think they sell any burger. They sell fried chicken and corn and the butter. It was so good. However, they are not here anymore. Okay, so I'm going to walk across the street and we can see a gas station here. It used to be called Xio, but now it's Formosa from Taisu. I'm now heading to a store selling electronics. I'm going to buy some memory card because I'm going to go to Nippon on a Friday, which is 2 days after today, but I think my memory card won't be enough. I'm standing in front of a special store without any, maybe I should check. Usually they don't have any real person in the store. Yeah. See these machines? These are the machine we call jiawawaji. This space is so big. Back to 20 years ago, it was, well, it's called Didi Bao. It's also a space for entertainment. They had so many video games and like the selling stuff for kids. So it's an entertainment area for kids. Yeah, but they closed, I think they closed maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago. And right now it's, we can still see some video games here, but I think their major business are these machines. Yeah, let me see if I have any coins so I can demo how to use this machine. All right, so just insert the coin, move the cow, and pick one. Okay, maybe just this one. Okay, and click the button. Oh, so you see when the cow all the way top, it shakes. They configure the machine to increase the difficulty for you to get the items. And there are so many techniques or skills to overcome that shaking that you can find on the internet, but I'm not an expert. I don't know anything about that because we don't actually have this kind of machine in the United States. That's just for fun. And aside from actually get those items, you can exchange those items you got from those machines to points. Here it's 1,650 points. So after you accumulate this amount of the point, you can get, I don't know what it is. It's a toy. It's a more expensive toy. Okay, so let's keep going. Chankun. This is a store selling electronics. I bet you guys know we are an island of technologies. We make so many electronics, we make everything. We make computers, we make microchips, we make memory sticks, we make everything you can imagine inside of the devices in Taiwan. So, of course, we'll have this kind of store selling appliances. It's just like Best Buy in the United States. But right now I'm going to find if they sell the memory card, SD card. Their theme color is yellow, so they have a nickname called 黄色鬼屋. It's a haunted house of yellow color, because usually you will see more fellows than customers. So that's how they get the name 黄色鬼屋. Oh, there we go. Hopefully, not sure if it's gonna be cheaper than Amazon in United States. Let's see. Somehow they lock it, so I cannot just take it out. I need to ask for help. But what else they are selling here? I think the price is very similar to what I can find from Amazon. Yeah, I think I'll just take this one. Aside from Yangming Mountains and Old Palace Museum, there is another place you might be interested called Chiang Kai-shek Shilin Residence. So obviously, Chiang Kai-shek, you know Chiang Kai-shek, right? Chiang Kai-shek, Jiang Zhongzhen, who was a tyrant or who was the leader of Kuomintang in mainland of China about 1949. They got kicked out from mainland of China and moved to Taiwan. Chiang Kai-shek used to live in this area just in front of me. So right now in front of me, it used to be an area that is not allowed to build any buildings higher than, I guess, 2 floors or 3 floors. So it's an empty area 10 years ago, or maybe 15 years ago, because it's forbidden to build any buildings higher than a threshold, because the former president living in that area, even though he was already died, but the law does not change until I think 15 years or 10 years ago. So now you can see there are some luxury office in this area, and there is one luxury hotel behind these buildings. But I'm not going to show you guys there. If you are foreigners, you can live here. It's about 8,000 Taiwanese dollars per night, so about $200 US per night, which is very expensive. You know, accommodation in Taiwan is crazy expensive. You can buy a lunchbox with only $3 or $4 US, but you're gonna pay for over $100 for a night living in a hotel. That is crazy. Look at this crazy price of real estate in Taiwan or Taipei. 3,500万. This is around 1.1 million US dollars. And the size of the house, 19.66平. 19.66平 is around times by 36. So it's around 720 square feet. 720 square feet sells for $1.1 million. Look at how crazy it is. I'm standing on Zhongshan Nose Road. See these trees? They used to be higher and wider. Somehow they cut it for safety issues, because we have typhoons in summer and it becomes a security or safety problem in the summer, well, almost got hit by motorcycles. Guess where I am? I'm in Japan. I'm in Tokyo. They have this vending machine. They don't do human orders anymore. Just like McDonald's. Pick whatever you want and pay for it. You got a ticket. Wait there until you get a seat. So it's a ramen restaurant, which is very good.
那在这里，那我们桌面上有抽屉可以放东西，餐点要等一下才。哎，在那里可以了，我们桌面就够。
而且我的面已经来了，我这边点的是，我靠，我点了什么？豚骨拉面 ，tonkotsu. Price of this ramen is around $8. The same items in Seattle is probably $15, so about half price. But it's tasted much better than I have in United States or in Seattle. 来，粉丝们先吃一口啊！ Too hot. 太舒爽了。When you're in Taipei, sometimes you might have hallucination like you are in Japan. Because Taiwan used to be ruled by Japan back to around 100 years ago. Like my grandparents, they are no longer with us, but they did speak in Japanese. They can communicate with each other in Japanese. And some of my aunts, they had Japanese name when they were very young. So that's why you can find so many Japanese style stuff, stores, restaurants in Taipei. This bros is so good. 全部吃完了，因为已经付过钱，就可以直接走了。对，不会开门啊。Oh my God, it's so warm today. I've been living in Seattle for too long. It's March, but it's too hot. It's too hot for me. God damn it. Okay, so here is MRT Shilin Station, exit number 2. Okay, let me think where I should explore. Because I want to show you guys some interesting alleys around this area, but they're kind of in different directions. Oh, let's go in this way. 那以前呢，士林站这个地方，这些店都不存在。这些右边他们就是民居，没有1楼这些店。那大概是在可能7、8年前吧，或是10年前，这些小巷弄里面的1楼开始租给餐厅啊，租给这些店家，那这个整个商业区才形成。那不然以前这些都是民宅，真的没有店。就算是捷运站地牌也没有店。像大家可以看到，这个以前就是这种民宅。像这一间是租给餐厅的嘛，不然它原本都是长这样。对，可以看到很古老，大概40年的台式公寓就长这样。那顶楼它这个应该是加盖的啦，那它不知道哪一年加盖的。如果是某一年以前加盖的，就就地合法了。违建就就地合法。大家可以看到里面有一些新盖的建案，像这一条路，我一直觉得蛮有趣的。Look at this alley， 这条路真的是非常有趣。So this is one of the characteristics of old Taiwanese apartment. See those wires and cables? They are just barely installed outside of a building. And at least for this area, they are still organized and clean. but in most of the area with this kind of old buildings, they're just entangled together, and it's very difficult to distinguish which one is still working and which one is already insulated. But like I say, this area is kind of organized pretty nice compared to the other old communities in the other part of Taipei City. Yeah, so we started to see some restaurant here because it's closer to the main road, and some salon here, and breakfast restaurant. Gosh, I don't know, like nails for ladies, nails art. Yeah, so this is one of the oldest breakfast restaurant in this area. It's kind of my go-to breakfast. 那这间永和豆浆已经在那边很久了啦，住在市里的人都知道。它应该是我搬来这边的时候就有，它应该是超过30年或40年的老店。那以前我上班或者去上课，只要去坐捷运，早上它刚好在我家走到捷运站的这条路线上，所以我都会买来吃。那个味道我已经很熟悉，我每次从美国回来也都会去买。哇，这个是士林国小，我没有念这里啦，因为我念私立学校。但是如果我念公立学校的话，也可能不是念这间，因为我家对面有另外一间学校叫福林国小。那间学校最有名的就是它的棒球队，但是士林国小很大哇，这个面积真的很大现在还有这么多小孩吗？台北市寸土寸金，它这个校地这么大。好，那我现在来到的是士林的老社区，在捷运站2号出口外面。这边呢，一般人比较不会走进来，因为大部分都是住宅区。那住宅区底下就是商业区，有一些餐厅啊，然后有一些美发美容。以前这边有超级多的salon，超级多，跟 7-Eleven 跟便利商店一样，每走几步就一间 hair salon。不知道为什么它形成这样的聚落。我先走出去一下我靠，好热我快热死了！我不能走在太阳底下，真的是太热了。好，那边是士林站的2号出口大家看一下这个很奇怪有没有看到很奇怪的造景？那边有一些石头，但是为什么会有这些石头嘞？它的2楼是一个 hair salon， 然后它的1楼是一间餐厅。哇，它卖得很便宜，50块的自助餐 ，$0.6 for a lunch box. It's a buffet, so you pick whatever you want. So cheap. I haven't bought any food from them, but you see, right now it's 2 p.m., so there are still people having lunch in this area. I see a place there. See a cameraman. Now let's take a look. 我们来看一下50元可以点什么吃50元在台北市50元很扯$0.6 for a lunchbox is so crazy cheap in Taipei. It's unbelievable, you know. Yeah, see the person, can man. But the story what I'm trying to tell you is this building used to be an aquarium. 在我小时候，这一栋建筑物是一间水族馆，然后它已经在这边好久了，所以大家可以看到那个石头的那个造景。最重要的是，它里面养了一只很大的象龟。The aquarium used to be in this building. They had a gigantic turtle as a pet, but somehow they moved to other places or they just closed their business. I don't know. But I remember turtle can live so long. So maybe that turtle is still alive. Yeah, that would be cool if that's true. Yeah, see, another hair salon. Let me tell you what kind of service you can get in Taiwanese hair salon. Usually, if you are a male, Usually you'll get a young lady wash your hairs for you with massage. That is so nice. If you are a lady, sometimes you'll get a young man wash your hair for you with massage. So it depends on your sex. But either way, that's all good. 哇，这个是很有历史的一间 grocery store。这个文具店。哎，你好。They also sell cigarette. I thought it's a bookstore selling pens, pencils, toys, like here, balls. But they also sell cigarettes. That's funny. This kind of grocery store is very rare in Taipei. Like you guys in Europe or in United States, you buy this kind of shit from Amazon. We do as well. Like PC Home or Shopee, or I don't know because I don't live in Taiwan for a while. But I'm surprised we still have that kind of grocery store in this area that you can buy pens, pencils, something like that, or you just saw in the store. I'm not sure if they can just keep doing their business nowadays, but obviously the owner was an old man. We don't call people old men in Taiwan, but yeah, he's an old man. I think money does not matter. He just wants to find something to do. See those tropical plants here? And there. Oh, something is raining. Well, guess what it is? It's a temple, and the sound that you guys heard. Gosh, I don't know why it is, but so this is a temple. 这是一间庙。那它里面应该是在处理一些事情。They are, I think they are doing business, or maybe I shouldn't say business. They are dealing some stuff. Yeah, I think they are doing some mystic exercise, or you can say psychic exercise. Taiwan has a great population believes in God and ghost. What is God and what is ghost? God is who built or create the universe or manage the universe. It can be anything like the mountain, the river, sea, ocean, even a stone on the street. It can be a god. What is a ghost? A ghost is ancestor, or you can say dead families. So this kind of temple provides some services that you can talk to God or ghost. Ask them some questions that you want to get an answer. It can be anything like relationship. Should I marry to my current boyfriend? Should I get married this year? Is the girl I met this year to be a good partner for marriage? That's for relation. And for career, like should I find a new job this year? Should I find a new job? Should I quit? Or investment, like should I buy a new house? Should I sell my current house? Should I put more money into stock market? Any question you can imagine. And these questions can be answered by a god or a ghost or a dead family members. Like, let me give you an example. So the legacy from a dead family members like grandpa, grandmom, and there are some argument between sons and daughters after their parents passed away. So they want to ask the opinion from their dead parents so they can try to hire this kind of service to communicate with their dead parents. But you might have a question about how to communicate with a god and a ghost. typically, so I'm not a professional. I just heard from friends, from internet, from movies, from TV shows. The owner of the temple, we say master, or in Taiwanese we call them seafood. You are hearing correct word, seafood. Okay, so we call them seafood. There are many ways they can communicate with the god and the ghost. I just give 2 examples. First, they can serve as a messenger. So, because the normal people like me, we don't have power. We cannot hear the whisper of a ghost, right? But seafood, as a powerful person, they have this ability to communicate or to hear the sound or to see what a ghost see. So they're a messenger. They can just speak what they heard from the ghost or the god. So that's the easiest way as a bridge that they just hear what they say and then speak out. So the families or the customer, they can get the answers of their questions from the ghost or the god. The second way, which is more terrified, I think the correct verb is possessed. So they can let the ghost or the god occupy their body and use their mouths to directly speak out the answer to the questions that the customer asks. After everything is done, they will ask the god or a ghost leave their body so they can regain the control of their body. That's very interesting, right? Because it's very difficult to tell whether it is true or it's just a scam, right? Because you don't know the answer, and you don't like seafood can just be an actor or an actress. There are some ways to verify this kind of service if it's true or it's a scam. For example, some customers can ask about something that only him or herself knows, or they can ask something that only their dead parents or their dead families knows. Because the seafood shouldn't know, because seafood is a stranger, right? He doesn't know actually what happens to their families or their privacy. So these questions are sort of to test or verify this is a man with true magics, not a scam or not a fraud. Why I think they are doing some kind of psychic exercise, because I heard the ring of the bell. I might be wrong, so let me know if I'm wrong. 如果我是错的，留言告诉我。Okay, I guess it's only my guess. They ring the bell to notify the ghost or the god they want to summon. Kind of like saying, okay, we are here, because we don't know the world on the other side, right? So maybe it's very dark and maybe it's very smoky. So sound would be a very useful media to lead the way to the correct location, saying, okay, we are here and please come to us. So when they are doing this kind of exercise or services, usually seafood would wave the rings to make the sound. Again, no judgment. If you believe it, you believe it, right? So at least some people believe it and they seek for this kind of service to help them get away from bad things that is already attached to their body or attached to their spirit. Or they can just act seafood and take this kind of service to avoid bad things happen to them in the future. Okay, so it's a very special culture of Taiwan. This is a street with many powerful men and women, because you can find so many that kind of temples on this street. Okay, there's another one just in front of me. Yeah, like this one. 应显坛, right? Tan means temple. They have their light turn on. So that one, I'm not sure, because every time I stop by or be around, I don't see anyone actually in there, and the light is always off. Someone is there and doing something. You can believe it or you don't believe it, doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if I believe it or not. 这条街以前都是住宅，然后有一些小店，可是现在大家可以看到这些新的餐厅，然后用一些比较有风格、比较有不同 vibe 的装潢，都是新的餐厅，应该都是这5年、6年才这边开业的餐厅。像这种西服店， 哦，其实应该是在这边很久了。They are making uniforms, any uniforms from any school, like 复兴高中, those are different schools, and they are selling uniforms to the student who enroll in these schools. They make uniforms. 好，这个没有开哈，这个国术馆啊，国术馆。Let me find a way to explain what's 国术馆. So 国术馆 is traditional techniques or skills to make your body relief. It's like massage. Oh, like chiropractic. 整复啊，推拿这些其实现在有很多新的整复店啊，或是推拿店。那在西方叫做整脊师 chiropractic。但是在台湾早期嘞就是叫国术馆。Okay, this is a bookstore selling books about occult or 风水. Yeah, 风水 is kind of like that. 风水 is a subset of occult. I believe so. This is so interesting. 符咒总集啊 so difficult to explain. Maybe I can just show you guys. Yeah, so this is 符咒. It's coming from 道教. It's a traditional belief or traditional religion in Taiwan. Okay, so these are examples or patterns of what 符咒 is. Yeah, just like the temple I mentioned, the master or the owner of the temple, usually they have special power, so they can draw or make these 符咒, inject their power into this kind of stuff to help people prevent ghosts or prevent bad luck. Wow, this is so interesting. There are so many kinds of use cases. You can get rid of bad relationship like this one. This is for marriage, and this is for 赈灾. 哇，怎么翻译啊? To avoid bad things happen. Maybe I should put it in this way. And this kind of 风水. This is to gain a good luck. This is for fortune, for money, for wealth. This is traditional fortune telling system. 紫微斗数 Occidental astrology. 东方占星学 astrology. And this is for health, for any kinds of purpose and any kinds of need. So 周易, this is another system of divination. Yeah, literally anything you can imagine. All covered in this bookstore. 这是罗盘. I don't know the English word of this item, but this is used to measure 风水. Yeah, so you know 风水, right? This is so interesting. They have other books beyond my knowledge that I couldn't explain. I'm wondering why there are so many occult stuff around this area, like fortune telling, temples, exorcist, and the bookstore selling occult knowledges. It's so interesting in this area. Let me show you something here. Okay, see these stairs all the way top to second floor, third floor. They just put a LED array saying photography on third floor. There is a photography service on the third floor. 这边刚才那个是一间专门拍证件的摄影棚，很推荐大家去这间，因为我去过，要先在网络上预约，然后预约之后就可以进去，当场拍了之后，当场就可以拿，可能要等他修一下图了，然后他修图的速度也很快，那个老板就直接在那边修。但是我要跟大家讲，最重要的一件事情是，老板超正。老板应该可能不知道，高中或大学刚毕业而已，超正，超推荐。好，这边是整个士林当地最老的区域。那这一条街就是所谓的庙口夜市。那因为现在时间是下午3点，几乎还没有看到任何摊位，要晚一点来才会看到摊位。但是看起来呢，今天这个所谓的庙口夜市，庙 means temple， the other temple。Yeah, the other temple. Yeah, so this is I think this is the oldest or the most important temple in this area. They have festival today. 池成宫。In this temple, they serve different gods. Like the temple right behind me, he serves a god called Guan Gong. It's a god representing It's a god representing loyalty. Those are gods. They are moving gods out of the temple. Yeah, it's too noisy. You can donate if you want.他们应该是有一些绕境的活动。Not sure if you guys can hear me. It's too noisy out there. What they are doing is to move the god from the temple to the other temple, or just take a walk in this area, playing for 国泰民安. God damn it! It's so hard to translate. 国泰民安. How to translate 国泰民安? For example, no typhoon or no earthquake for the following year in Taiwan. Everybody makes much money for the next year. That's what Taiwanese always play for. 好，来看一下这间房子的瓷砖啊。我不知道这个是新的还是旧的，但是大家可以看它这个3楼，它有一些比较细致的 pattern。它有2个不同的瓷砖。我不知道这个画面大家看不看得到。像这种老房子没有装铁窗，也没有把阳台外推，它其实蛮好看的，对吧？这个就是我说的，其实台湾老社区有一种很独特的味道，你走进去就有台湾味。其实我们政府应该去推广这种风格才对，不要说很丑，不要说国民党美学，其实它超赞的，好吗 ？About $23 for 40 minutes of massage on shoulder, head, what else, and feet. 脚掌，脚掌按摩。那如果是全身的话 ，full body starting from $45 for 1 hour, I guess. Compared to Seattle, it's crazy cheap here. You must try. 但是这招我不知道啊，大家自己去看 review。飞来发，他在这边好久了，我是没试过。
本中
我每次回来都是去不老松，我是蛮推的，但是不老松稍微贵一点。哎，就是一样的吗？Food and body massage。哦，it's the same one。飞来发。好，这间语音乐器呢，我小时候的时候就在了。看你在这边，哎，现在是变卖吉他的。哦，就直接进去看好了。哦，他现在变成主要在卖吉他，像这边有一些，后面有乌克雷雷，然后这边有一些我们不管是国外的品牌，或是台湾自己本土的品牌的吉他，哦，然后也有钢琴。哇，电风扇好爽！
就他们讲，我知道好像也有放。
然后有卖一些乐谱、鼓棒，当然也可以穿弦。那这间语音乐器，它本来是士林这个区域唯一一家乐器店，但是后来这10年内越开越多家了。然后我猜他现在可能生意也没有像以前那么好。他以前有卖钢琴，有卖各种管乐器，他现在还是有卖，但是已经没有太多食品在店里面。我以前小时候来这边的时候，有各式各样的乐器。那他现在可能主力卖吉他，因为毕竟这个需求比较大，我猜。钢琴可能现在很多家庭都用租的，因为一台钢琴现在真的非常贵，因为木头和人工都很贵，那些都是用手工做的。那我的第一台钢琴就是从那边买的，它是一台雅马哈钢琴，现在还在我家。那我的第一个小提琴可能也在这边买的，这个我不确定。那还有一些管乐器也都在这里买的。但是我的吉他呢就不在这里买，是我到美国才买的。哦，那我记得我好像很久以前有在这边穿过贝斯弦吧？对，那时候它还没有像现在这么看起来这么落寞，已经10几年，已经快20年前我大学的时候了。
2 hours later.
荆棘柠檬。It's a juice made of citron and with a jelly called 爱玉。这边是士林庙口的面线摊。Okay, so they are selling noodles made of rice.
一起的啊，对不对？
没有，我不是。
啊，你不是？
对。
跟他们不是。3个钟的了。Hello, sorry, come here。来这边拿嘛。
哦，木瓜牛奶 （papaya with milk）。米粉汤，米粉 it's also a kind of noodle made by rice. But it doesn't come with oyster. 胡椒饼 it's a bun with pork seasoned by black pepper. Oh, it smells so good. Every time when I come back to my home country, I'll buy some stinky tofu. 还有一个小的内用。好。Do you guys know what this is for? Take a guess. This is the waste of the chopsticks. Just put the waste into this clip, so it won't just fly away as a garbage everywhere. Only $2, only $2 US, you can have a full plate of stinking tofu in Taiwan. In Seattle, for this size of stinking tofu, you're gonna pay $15. Smells so good. If you think stinking tofu
it's just tofu, then you are wrong. The spirit of stinking tofu is the kimchi comes with the stinking tofu. It's different from the kimchi from Korea. It's Taiwanese kimchi. You must try this when you are in Taiwan. 哇，好胖哦！